We do inventory management through barcodes in Sage right now. It's a new thing that we added. We've got
Beautiful.
ScanForce is what we're using in Sage.
It's called ScanForce. Okay, let me write that one down, please. A second.
And that uses remote device or handheld devices to scan numbers, and it completely integrates with all aspects of inventory management in Sage. That's how we do inventory right now.
Okay, perfect. That sounds fabulous. So you may or may not need it from us. It sounds like so. I'll bounce out of there. And again, if you said, gosh, we'd never need these buttons, we'd never need your auto PO, we'd never need the purchase order. It's literally just a right click, and we take it off the screen. Take off purchase orders, take off auto PO. There's no need for for that in the system. So it's just inventory vouchers. If you wanted our check-in and out time clock, I bet you don't. I bet you've got that in the other product there. But it's being able to see who's on and how long they've been on. And if you said I'd never use that, then we could just get that thing off the screen too. So just keeping the screen super simple. That's as easy as, like I said, right click and design. Nobody can do that except you. We can set up security. Who gets to see cost? Who gets to see margin? Those are things that are very protected. And within the system, we would just go in and set up groups like, a buyer, a store manager, and within those groups, you can set up just what they get to do, basically. So you can set up permissions and say they get to add a customer, but they can't delete a customer, and everything. So, or what they can see. So all of that is just really tailorable within the system for the security. And then I was going to show you the customer management is fabulous. So for within the customer Rolodex, and let's just go put in kind of a first name. I've got Samuel in there. So if we go grab Samuel Smith, I think, again, the Rolodex looks a little dated here, but it's super, super functional. And if you said I would never, care about the 5 addresses for his family or anything, you could go in and just delete that out. Oops, I meant to go grab that. So again, the screen being super designable. If I wanted, a bigger field here, and I want to see the customer Rolodex, it's all just drag and drop, and only certain people within the company get to do that, but I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to get rid of this secondary address over here, just make a bigger note section for him. I just wanted you to see that that's throughout the whole system. Everything about the Rolodex and everything about every screen is completely designable there.
Nice.
What's your zip code? Yeah, where are you guys at for your zip code? Where are you at right now?
89119.
Okay, so is that Las Vegas? Yes, so Las Vegas. So
Yep.
the pops in Las Vegas, Nevada. So this, of course, would map over from your Sage Rolodex. But if you added a customer, you could swipe a driver's license. There's a lot of neat ways to get at getting a customer in here.
Wow,
but you could just put in their you could put in their cell phone, like I said, and just the cell phone alone will bounce a text message to them instantly is the moment you save this, and then what can bounce, and then you can do a there are people who are those car buffs, right, that are that need to see new things that came out for by manufacturer or something, that needs just an alert to say come on in and get 10% off, or there's a one-use coupon which I love. It's brand new. It's okay. You get 25% off a sale, and we scan it on their phone with the coupon, and then it's dead. It can't be copied and printed and used somewhere else. It's a one-time use coupon for the sale. So it's really, that's kind of a cool sophistication that you can also put timers on it and say it starts Monday and ends Wednesday, come on in that time period. So some really neat stuff. His history of everything he's ever purchased is right at a touch of a button there within the customer Rolodex, and I should have shown you this at point of sale there, but basically you can click a button and see everything he's ever purchased sale by sale. I've got guns and all sorts of weird stuff in here, but he bought a Kelly boot, and he got a kayak and a boot, and I know his sizes, I know his favorite colors, I know everything about him, even down to a serial number or a part number. So if somebody, do you ever get a part number recall, anything like that ever happen?
No, we don't serialize anything, or if that's what you're asking.
Okay. So is there anything unusual that I should be thinking about that you're concerned that a deep system cannot be done? Is there anything, special orders, custom orders, things like that?
So, like right now, for employees, we sell them items at cost. is there a way
Okay.
to where as you're ringing a transaction, you can just push a button like employee cost
Well,
and have it automatically change all the pricing?
That's not the section we're in.
Absolutely, yeah. That is a price level. So they don't need to know. You know, you got 2 employees standing there. You want to ring up sales. You don't want to manually have to do anything as a cashier. The cashier it's a no-brainer. You can scan their badge, and it already has their Rolodex in here where you've already attached that they get cost plus 10, or they get cost plus 20, or they get employee pricing number 1 or employee pricing number 2. That's whatever you decide it is in detail. So it could be 10% off of accessories, 5% off of apparel, 20% off over here. I don't get high margin on this type of product, down to color if you wanted to, or size or anything. So you decide what that level means, then you attach it to him, and then you can forget about it entirely because he's got that employee pricing. And then when you scan him in or type in his last name or his phone number, however you draw him into the sale, scan his badge, all those things draw him in and bring with him all of the price levels with him, so nobody has to think about it.
Okay. Now, if we don't have them in the customer as a pricing level and it's just a new order, but we want to go ahead and give them that price level, can we do that at the point of sale as well?
You absolutely can. It is based on your level. So a manager maybe can give 25 or 30 or whatever you decide. A rookie just starting maybe can give a 5% discount, and then he's got to go get a manager. It's however you want to lay that out. It's really tailorable, and it will bend to how you want to do business there. So if you want, they could add a customer and give them a 10% discount. But I don't like that way. It would give it off everything, and then you'd have to give the rights to that cashier to do 10%. So I hate that way. We want to do price levels for most people because then it's a no-brainer. And then at point of sale, you can type in a discount off the total ticket or per line item, or you could add a new customer and they get a price level of X, 5% or whatever it is. And of course, the manager can come over and do whatever you've allowed them to do. They can manage and to type in their password, and they can flip the price level to 20 or whatever you decide. Does that make sense?
Yep, sure does.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility here. I think, again, some of the big names that choose this, I only flash those out there that Ferrari does X because I want you to see that it's scalable, and there isn't a lot of things I have to say no to. We don't have the gorgeous, pretty face throughout the whole system yet, but we do have it at the front end where I think most people care about their branding to be customer-facing. We do have a really slick, on the custom order, special order stuff, it's called sales orders. So it's the plan to sell, just like a purchase order is a plan to buy. A sales order is a plan to sell. So it's not walking out the door this minute, but for us, it's actually web orders bounce in here. Web orders go in there because then we pick it, pack it, ship it. It's layaways and custom orders and special orders, even a gift registry or a quote. So if you were doing a quote for someone, here comes a guy and he's buying all these parts. He wants to see what would this cost, but he's going to take it home to the wife and have a conversation about it. I could have that print in a nice, gorgeous, show you what it can look like there. So the printout on this thing, and I'll just show you, here's a sample printout for a client that's a pretty, it just shows you that it has a watermark of their website on the back, but it could be a picture, a quote, where you have a picture of the part or the product, and I don't know if this applies, and forgive my ignorance for your industry here, but basically it could be a pretty big quote, and then he takes it home and talks about it, and it's still in the system, and you're going to hang on to it for him. It's like a preliminary estimate, and then they can come in and buy it, right? And you just pull up this order and make it so, and run the credit card or whatever it is. So it's a plan. You could take deposits on it, and then click another button in our system that makes a purchase order that you send off to a vendor or something, or to corporate, that they fill and send back, so that when it shows up, it's like this little electronic triangle. So it looks for our purchase order. When you receive it, it looks for the PO that looks for the special order and says, call Sam Smith, his stuff is in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Right now, when we do quotes and sales orders, that's all stuff that's basically driven from Sage.
Got it. So we, like I said, we could figure it out so that you could do something in Retail Pro that kicks off something out to Sage so that they ship it to you. It lands in Las Vegas, somebody scans it, and it says, hey, this is a special order for Sam Smith. So it's a no-brainer. Nobody can put it on the floor and oops, it accidentally gets sold, and that guy's been waiting 6 weeks for it.
Yeah.
So it's just a little double check thing that we could manage. We could figure that out as some way to make that nice in the system. And you know, for us, you know, the purchase order is just a document that is a plan. It doesn't actually change any quantities. It does nothing in the system. It's literally just a worksheet. That's all it is, as far as we see it.
Go back for a second. I want to bring
Yeah.
something else. We do a lot of something shipping from our flagship store in Vegas to our customers internationally or around within the country. There's a lot of shipping goes on as well when the people order bigger items. Is there a place
Sure.
on this screen here where partially the order is shipped and partially the order is not, and as well potentially drop ship items that they order as well from the retail location?
Yeah, we have all that beautifully. I was going to say we have a couple things. We also tie into, have you heard of Avalara? It's the tax based on where you're shipping to. Is that something Sage is tied into Avalara?
No, we really just
Okay.
charge tax through Nevada.
So isn't it where you ship to? So if you're shipping to Washington State, shouldn't you go by their tax, or how do you do that?
Well, it depends.
that's
Right
a-
now, that law is changing state by state right now. But
Okay.
right now we don't have a physical location except in Las Vegas. So it might turn. I know there's a court case has changed last year on that, so that might be changing. But right now, it's a customer in Las Vegas who's personally, doing the transaction in Las Vegas, but having the item shipped to his personal locale.
Gotcha. Well, before I start this field, right now I'm in what's called a sales order. It's a plan to sell, so I can, it's still totally designable. If you don't track aisle bin, shelf row, you don't care about that, I could right click and get this off the screen. Every field or every one of these is designable, so I could say I don't track by bin, I track by part number, I made up age, I made up all these fields, right? So you could click and they're gone, or you can add fields. Again, it's just a big spreadsheet there. So I took up half the screen.
I have a question for you in regards to those fields. Can those fields be changed like per user? Like let's say we have a store person, let's say their ID is number 1, but they like it to look one way, but the other person, number 2, likes it to look another way. When that's set up, is that set up across the board, or is that set up by login?
It's set up by login. So and I love that question, because if I log in, I've got my searches a certain way. I've got my screen set up to look the way I like. It is totally designable by person and their login. However, I would tell you my techs and trainers want to kill me because I say that, because it's best practices, so that it's not all over the place. You're out sick, somebody else, or I don't know. Best practice just means you want to keep it uniform so that the cashier going to store 1, 2, and 3 gets to see the exact same screens when they log in. So it can follow them, and if they go to store 2, they're saying it's like Windows rights, following you. So it could go to each location. But I can tell you, if a buyer wants to see cost and price, and they want to see all their favorite searches, that goes where they go. When they open the screen, they get to see what they are allowed to see and what they want to see, and that's down to the screen design too. So good question. That's how that works. And I was going to say, so this is a sales order, which if we wanted to put in, just do a brand new, everything's new in the upper left-hand corner is the button to start. And then it opened up saying, do you want this to be a custom order, a special order? Maybe you do layaways, maybe you don't. Then the registries are actually quotes as well. They don't affect inventory. If I put an item on a registry, think of it as a bridal or a baby, or a quote for, somebody goes in to have a work order done for their car. They just need a quote. It's an estimate. It does not commit that product. So I could put 100 items on there, and who cares? Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. So it's that's what single store or multi-store company covers across all the locations. So I could pull it up at any location. If he walks in and he wants to fulfill that and say, I am ready to get this done, sell me these parts, that's what you would do there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, so just to show you, like on a special order, just to give you a sense of what we were talking about a little earlier there. So if I wanted to do that Cobra cap, and forgive me, I haven't put in any new product here, but if I just wanted to go grab one of these and so I scan the product. Then I could put in the customer's info. It's Sam Smith. If I type in Smith, I've got a lot of Smiths, so it's going to pop open and say which Smith are we talking about here. So I can click, and it's going to give me kind of a short list, and it's going to be Samuel. So I'm going to just grab him. It does let me see, and certainly if he has a barcode on a receipt that I gave him kind of a deposit and that he comes back, I can scan that and it pops right to the sales order. I can sell just one item, which was your question. Can he walk out the door with the jacket but leave the keychain or I don't know, things that were on special order, the part or whatever it was. So again, forgive my ignorance for your specific situation there, but you can keep those things on order. You can also click a button and, like I say, it'll say generate a PO at the top. See where it says generate a PO. Again, a PO is a worksheet that I can send off to Sage, or we could map it so that it just goes to Sage. Then they fill it, they send it to your back door, and we scan to receive it, and it looks for this and says, hey, call Sam Smith, his stuff is in. Does that, again, I'm just trying to paint a picture of that electronic triangle, but there might be a way to make it just completely automated into Sage so that we don't even need our PO in that. I'm just following here. Hopefully that makes sense. And then as you print out a document, but our documents can have a barcode on the bottom. Oh, I don't have one on that one. Let me find one that does. Let me print. Let's see, 40 column for Phil. This might have a full sheet of paper document. Yeah, kind of ugly font, but this one gives you, ship to, bill to, any document we can send this PDF and make it a little more attractive and send it somewhere in the world. But basically, this is just a sample of that special order item. It assigns it a number. I could have put Smith 499 in there if I wanted something a little easier to find. But this could have the shipping address, a billing address, just all any kind of custom notes that you want. But it's just creating a document, a system that we can sell against. Any question on that, or?
Now, in regards to what Ari's question was, a lot of times it's not necessarily a sales order where we're just giving them a quote. They're coming here and let's say, like you spend a certain dollar amount, you can get free shipping. But sometimes their order may be $300 and they take some of those items out. It all still has to come out of inventory, but some they're taking with them and some we're shipping. Is there a way to know on the order, not necessarily as a sales order, but as your actual receipt for your point of sale, this item shipped, this item they got, things like that?
So what we're doing here is a plan. So let's put a couple items on here and just show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to throw in, I've got a boot and I've got a cap, and then I'll just to show you a couple different things. Oh, I should probably have something with a price. So let me delete that one off. Remove that one, and then let me put something that's bigger here. Blizzard. Let's see what I got. So I got a Blizzard. Oh no, I let's see the price on this. I'm just gonna throw something in here so I can have a price. Okay, so I've got a $16 item, a $500 item, and a let me do one other Cobra keychain there just to have something. Oops. Let's see. So the Cobra keychain just to have something there. Okay, so I've got 3 items. Oops, and I need to give that a price thing. Okay, so what I want to do here when I save it, and it's sales order number 499. So basically we can roll right into an invoice, and the invoicing that I've got on here is not as pretty as the first screen I showed you because I haven't designed one for you yet, so I have to apologize. This one it looks a little dated, but it is it's functional. So you'll see this is just the place I kind of swim around in most easily here. So so let's say that we created an order and he wants to walk out the door with one of the 2 things. It was sales order number 499, so he's here to pick it up. I can scan the barcode on his receipt that I printed that has your logo, and it pulls in that sales order. So now it's saying sales order items right here. And when I click on it, it lets me choose from that list. So there's the items there. I've got let me make it a little easier to see. So I've got the fitted cap, that Blizzard, and I've got the keychain. So he's going to take the keychain, and you could say sell all if I wanted to, And I can also say, and he's going to take the fitted cap, but we're going to leave that Blizzard skate, it's like a ski or something there. So I'm going to say, okay. So now, if I'd taken a deposit, it would say, do you want to use the $100 deposit on this? Yes, I do. And it would flash that on my screen. Or it will just let me pay this through, and I'm going to go ahead and just say, click to pay now. And basically I can sell just this to him, but leave that other thing on order because it hasn't come in yet. Or, so I'm going to say cash. Sorry, I'll get rid of all this other junky stuff here on the screen, but that was just kind of tailored for somebody else to see there. But now when I say print, I can have it print. It would just automatically go to my printer, but I'll go to this one so you kind of see it. But it can go to a printer that has your logo on it, and it would just go zoom cut. It's super fast. We do sports teams, and the reason I quote them is just because it's a 7-second sale. It's item tender print, just a line of people and an 18-year-old kid at the register there, and it could have a return barcode on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So and it shows on the very bottom what's still on order there. So it says open sales orders. That Blizzard Russell, that's a ski of some kind, I guess. So it's basically saying you still have that item on order. So if you brought this back, scan this barcode, it's still going to know that other ski comes in. Now, boom, we can scan it and sell that final piece when it comes in.
Now, a lot of times, though, the customer's here and they're already buying everything all at once. We just then internally are shipping some of the items or ordering dropship items. So how can we process it still?
And you could have done that all from the one screen. I don't have it set up in a really clean way to show you today, but the prettier screen that I have that is basically the POS that we could access from anywhere from Chrome or whatever. That is again the kind of the pretty face of Retail Pro that's gorgeous right now. Save it, no, and I want to just get this off my screen real quick.
Directly in the POS without having to process it as a sales order.
No, we could. But give me an example. Tell me how that would work exactly. What are you thinking?
Well, here's what we might have. We might sell them that cap and that keychain, and they also buy a table which is customized and will be drop shipped to them, or we may have it. And there's a lot of tourists that come through here. They don't want to carry a table back with them on the plane, so we'll ship that table for them. But they're buying them all at one time.
I hear you then. So then you just start it here instead of at the sales order side. You'd start it here. You'd make whatever the item is, and then when you could take all the money for it, and then you could click a button that says create a sales order. So I just don't have it on my screen, but I can right click and add a button that says make a sales order for that. So and within the sales order, that's where you determine that could be. Or you could take the money for it. There's item notes sections here that are sort of whole paragraphs where you could put any information you want. And then there's also a shipping field down here that I could put. Pardon me. I don't have it on my screen, but it could be a separate little field for shipping. So I could just, like I've got ship to phone, ship to address, ship to customer lookup, things like that. So if I wanted to do Smith, I could put all the shipping info right there and then print that. Take 100% of the money on it, and then just have this set so that it's shipping to so and so.
Gotcha. Okay, I think the item note would work. I don't think turning it into a sales order would work, because then wouldn't that end up relieving inventory then twice?
No, a sales order is a plan. Well, you could take all the money, 100%, but the sales order means it's not walked out the door yet. You better do something. It's a plan to sell. So as you're picking, packing, shipping, it's actually leaving. Maybe a day goes by. Maybe it's the last sale of the day and you're going to do this tomorrow. So sales orders are a commitment. It's you owe this guy something. You own that table, right? So if it's not walking out the door this minute, then you take his money, you make a plan and create the sales order which has all the shipping info on it if you'd like, or you could take it here. You don't have to do a sales order. But the point is if you take his money, and it's showing as a sales order, then it's a commitment, and the inventory is actually correct because it still keeps the item until it's physically out the door. You invoice against the sales order, that final table. The guy in the back's invoicing it, putting the invoice with the table as it's going out the door, typically. But it can bend however you guys want to do business. This isn't where you have to bend to the system. It's going to bend to how you want to function. And when do you see that inventory as out the door? Do you want it in today's sales? You want to just make a commitment and be sure to ship it and pack it tomorrow? It can bend to however you want to do this. So,
Okay.
and this bit, and this, I was just showing, this is a simple screen that somebody wanted that was just item tender print, but I just wanted you to see that, you may hate these screen designs and say, oh my gosh, I would never have my screen look that way. So I just want you to see, let me discard this for a second. So, but right clicking and designing is, somebody wanted this whole tender screen all in one page where it's just item, tender, print, 3-second sale, you know, or 3-second clicks there. But this is, it's a blank screen. So I just want you to see, I threw it over here and shipping with tax button right there. I just want you to see, some people say, oh, I'd never use these discounts, or I could delete them off the screen, or I can, you know, move it. So I just wanted you to see that even the point of sale, the workflow, everything about it is 100% what do you want it to be. So this is just my kind of my standard old technology here of just drag and drop, where the other one that I showed you is really more like a web page. Like you have to have some HTML knowledge there to design it and make it look as gorgeous as my other screen, if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so I'll save all that, lock it down. So not everybody can mess with the screens either. I don't want you to think that's just your cashiers playing around there. They cannot. But if you wanted to make a, like I say, shipping and tax button, or get rid of that, or, you know, however we want this to look, we can. That touch button menu on the back side, that is for my sports teams. They want to click a button and make a foam finger or a little bat, or, you know, selling things at kind of a quick touch menu. So you may get rid of that whole finger thing that's on there and say, oh, I'd never use that.
Yeah, but you'd want to pull the category, not the item in that
Right.
case. Right. So yeah, you could do shortcuts.
Well, and like I was saying with those shortcuts, let me show you an example. I got one on here that I did for Goodwill, and it's kind of just sort of a quick, where that finger was in that big section. Let's see if I've got it here. Pardon me 1 second. Let me find it. I thought I had it on my desktop. No. Oh, here it is, touch menu. So it's going to come up in kind of a simulation, but the 8 buttons on the top are departments. So like men's apparel, women's apparel, books. You know, as you click something, it just puts it on the sale off to the left there. So electronics, you know, it's 20 buttons in the middle, and then 20 more, 20 more, 20 more. It's infinite. So as you click something, it can have a picture of a product on there, as well as a price and or words, all 3. And then the last button, so if I went to women's apparel, the last button is pants. I click on that, now it takes me to 20 pants and so forth. So it's infinitely 20 buttons. That for my sports teams, that little bat or the foam finger or the hockey puck, it's boom, 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 boom. You know, we do, like say, tons and tons of teams for that. And this is kind of a nice little button or section of the screen that we can design. And I can make it look a lot prettier than this.
That's a great tool for us, because right now we have small items that we don't tag, like keychains and things
Right.
like that.
That's,
we have a binder that we have to look in and scan. So having like
right.
a shortcut for those keychains or for those air fresheners or chapsticks to just push it and then go through would be so much more time saving.
Well, it's what I was going to say is that's one way though, but there's 5 ways to do anything in Retail Pro. I could get rid of that whole touch menu, and basically, if you wanted to type like, I'm trying to think, like if you typed, let me just show you something real quick. So if I type in a key code, like a 1 is this and a 2 is that, or FF is my flip flop, it's just going to pop in a flip flop there. Or I've got SS is a swimsuit from, I did the surf show, so I made some quick hotkeys that I could just scan. So that's so for you, you know, and I can type a keyword
code. I think
code.
would be better for us, because then we're not relying on somebody to remember correct codes.
Exactly. So lots of ways to do it. One is the touch button menu over there, which you can do with a mouse. You don't have to have a touch screen monitor if you don't want to. But you could also you could have a singular number. You could have a barcode laminated sheet. You could have a hot code. If you started typing Cobra, it'll give you anything with the word Cobra in. Or I used to do SER for services for my bike shops that do a key chain, a chain fix, or a labor by the hour, labor by this. Anyway, there's always lots of ways to do it, and that's for the trainer to kind of help us bend to how you want to do business. But their job is to show you multiple ways and give you some suggestions there and say, you know, maybe we use this for the shipping, you know, shipping paragraph or info, anything, you know.
We try to have we try to not have our team search by descriptions, because then what happens in that case is they pull up old items or something they think is accurate versus
Yeah.
using our cube. Because it pulls
Absolutely.
everything.
Scanning is accuracy and speed, and maybe the pictures over here off to the side. That's just absolutely a nice way to make sure you're getting the right thing, for sure.
Right, right.
So